200 franchises in the country. So in totality, we have close to around 600 odd stores that the country have. Your second part of the question is the expansion plans, right? So in terms of expansion plan, we have a major expansion plan all across. Recall my statements, what I stated a while ago. We are expanding in CAT A, B, C, and as well as the villages and the towns. So we would be scaling our expansion into 3x in the coming financial year, followed by the much larger scale-ups. But more than the scale-ups, it is more that where we are positioning ourselves, we are positioning where people need medicines and where we envisage that there should be at least one good Dawa India store so that the end consumer can actually come and buy the medicines from there. CSRs that we do, we run programs where at a last mile level we work with people to ensure that we hand over desired medicines that is required for people. We also work in scenarios where if a specific segment of people do not have medicines to consume, then we at times offer them free medicines. But for any organization of private nature, there will be a level till which they can do charity, because at the end of the day they also need to run the organization. So it goes hand in hand. There is a huge CSR wing that we run, and the CSR does its own work to ensure that it also builds the ecosystem towards keeping the country healthy. Such low cost MRP, then how do we sustain? Very, very rational question. Our internal cost structures are very low, and since our internal cost structures are low and we optimize, so what it means is that at a company level our profitability decreases. So meaning which, if a branded medicine costs, say for example 1,000 rupees, the Dawa India generic medicine would be way lower in terms of cost of that, and at the end of the day it benefits the end consumer or patient. If you are a consumer, it would definitely benefit you, and you become healthy much faster with a lower cost outflow. So how do we sustain is that we manage our internal ecosystem, our supply chain management, our information technology, our people costs, our infrastructure costs, and our profitabilities, which are well managed, and there is a very thin line of profitabilities that we maintain. So that's the answer for your first question. Your second question is that at times you feel that the prices of medicines, I assume you're talking of branded medicines, that's my assumption, are very high. That's what you said. So there is where the generic medicine comes in picture, and that is what I said in the opening statement, that why do you think that it is important for these kind of sessions? Because media and press are the biggest power and tool for any country, whether it's developed country, developing country, for any kind of news and information. And right media, right press can change the ecosystem of the country. It is time that all of us get into that driver of change, and you will not understand that pain unless you have your parents, your children who cannot afford. The day you understand that your parents are part of this ecosystem who cannot afford, you go to the end village who do not have money even to eat food. From where do they get money to buy medicines? And there is where my appeal to media is that you play a critical role to build the ecosystem of change as a driver, because at times you may not understand the pain that the last mile villager actually undergoes. I have worked in the last mile villages to see what kind of tears rolls out when the costs are high. Many of you will echo with me. Some of you would agree if you have seen those kind of people. So there is where the generic medicine comes into place, but it should be of a desired quality. It should be of good quality, and there is where Dawa India plays a massive critical role, where we are changing the face of the healthcare ecosystem, the way medicines are consumed. And there is where it is important that the end consumer or patient understands the power of good quality generic medicines. Next question, please. CSRs that we do, we run programs where at a last mile level we work with people to ensure that we hand over desired medicines that is required for people. We also work in scenarios where if a specific segment of people do not have medicines to consume, then we at times offer them free medicines. But for any organization of private nature, there will be a level till which they can do charity, because at the end of the day they also need to run the organization. So it goes hand in hand. There is a huge CSR wing that we run, and the CSR does its own work to ensure that it also builds the ecosystem towards keeping the country healthy.